Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm pretty sure some of you have seen this clip already. But if you have not seen this clip, oh, it's a doozy. So it's Stacey Abrams. She's running for governor in Georgia, against the incumbent Brian Kemp, which I've said before, Stacey Abrams is not going to win this election. Her numbers are worse now than what they were when she ran the last time, when she actually had more of a chance to win, riding off of the wave of George Floyd and that energy and protest. And of course, a lot of black people at that time period, made a, mistake putting in, the Democrat Party, because black people, you got to remember, let's go back in time. Black people went out and voted at that time period because a lot of them was saying, okay, I don't like all the, the racism that surrounds, Trump and his crowd. We got this situation with George Floyd. The Democrats was like, yeah, y'all just get us in there. We can, do something about the police and we can do this and we can do that. Okay. Right. It wouldn't end up happening. The Democrats got in office, basically deceiving you like they was going to actually do something about the police. And what ended up later happening, Biden got to get on the State of the Union and saying he's going to fund the police. He's going to fund them. He's not going to punish them. He didn't believe in ending qualified immunity for them. So all of y'all got out there and got your booty to the polls and all of that, right? And voted for a party that you thought that was going to do something for you. Actually, your votes, where it went to the Asian community, because they actually got a hate crime protection that you don't even have. And you've been in this country for hundreds of years. You have dealt with white supremacist terrorism for hundreds of years. If anybody needs protection, it needs to be the black American man and the black American woman. And you didn't get it on some Johnny come latelys could come in. They experienced maybe just a few upticks in hate crimes on them, and all of a sudden now they get all this protection, they get all this media fanfare. CNN and the liberal media and the Democrat Party put out a propaganda against black Americans literally right when Biden got in office to make sure they got that bill done. And all of a sudden, after they got that bill done, it was no tax on agents anymore. I mean, that just magically stopped. We're not speaking about that no more. Where's to stop, Asian hate? Where did that go away? It seems like all that was a propaganda against black Americans to get a bill done for them. Biden also did executive order for them to give them money. And that's what happens with your vote the last time, right? Then we look in Georgia, of course. We got Raphael Warnock. And what did he do? About nothing. He's a preacher of a church. And a preacher and politics should never mix. So I don't see how people would vote in a preacher anyway. According to the scriptures, preachers do not supposed to be in any kind of political office. They could speak in a political sense. They could come against politicians and all of that, but they can't be out there in politics, be in the world, but not of the world. Right. That's what the scriptures teach. Have Raphael Warnock, he's putting people out of a apartment complex that the church owns, even if they owe $30. This guy won't answer yes and he won't answer no, right? And you have this woman here in this clip. I want you to listen to exactly what Stacey Abrams is promoting, because inflation is high, food is high, gas prices is high, and of course, if white folks got the flu, black people have the first strain of COVID and they having breathing problems. You understand? So let's listen to what this man is going to ask Stacey Abrams. Let's get it.
He just asked you. You're running for governor of Georgia. I would assume, maybe incorrectly, but while abortion is an issue, it nowhere reaches the level of interest of voters in terms of the cost of gas, food, bread, milk, things like that. What could you do as governor to alleviate the concerns of Georgia voters about those livability, daily, hourly issues that they're confronted with?
All right. So you heard the question, and he's actually right. When you look at the polling, the abortion thing is like second to last what people are concerned about. The two things that people are caring about right now is the economy and inflation. That's the two things that most voters, no matter if they're Democrat or Republican, what they care about right now. So he's 100% right. Nobody cares about deleting no children, anything. Now, he asked her basically, what is she going to do about helping the people in Georgia with that issue, which is a relevant issue? Let's listen to her.
But let's be clear. Having children is why you're worried about your price for gas. It's why you're concerned about how much food costs. For women, this is not a reductive issue. You can't divorce being forced to carry an unwanted pregnancy from the economic realities of having a child.
This woman just blamed having children as basically children are economic burden in today in America. Last time I checked, children weren't responsible for inflation. Last time I checked, children weren't responsible for the gas prices. And yet you're pointing at children and saying, well, them having children is the cause, not the politicians, not the corporations, because y'all work hand in hand together. Trust me. Don't let politicians say, oh, it's the corporations, it's the CEOs. No, they work for the corporations. They do everything the corporations want them to do. Don't you ever let them try to point blame at corporations. They in bed together, okay? But Stacey Abrams, last time I checked, she don't even have children. She don't have them. What this woman just said on the screen is sinister. It is sinister. That man asks you what you are going to do about that issue in Georgia. And instead of answering that particular question, Warnock, instead of answering that question, you pivoted and said, oh, it's because these women having children. And it gets worse, folks. It gets worse.
And so it's important for us to have both and conversations. We don't have the luxury of reducing it or separating them out, but we also have to talk about what a governor can do. A governor can address housing prices. A governor can address the cost of education. A governor can put money into the pockets of everyday hardworking Georgians instead of giving tax cuts to the wealthy. That's what I talk about on the trail, and that's what's resonating.
So why didn't you start off the message talking like that, right? But let's continue.
But let's not pretend that women, half the population, especially those of childbearing age, they understand that having a child is absolutely an economic issue. It is only politicians who see it as simply another cultural conversation. It is a real biological and economic imperative conversation that women need to have.
Oh, God. And this is your girl. This is your girl. Your girl. Let's go back again. So you said, let's go back. Let me get back to right here. There we go.
Issues that they're confronted with.
But let's be clear. Having children is why you're worried about your price for gas. It's why you're concerned about how much food costs. For women, this is not a reductive issue. You can't divorce being forced to carry an unwanted pregnancy from the economic realities of having a child. And so it's important for us to have both and conversations.
Stacey, I have a question. What about the people who don't have children and they're suffering right now in the economy that your party messed up? What about the people in Georgia right now who don't have children at all, don't have a desire to have children, whatever? They just don't have them, and yet they're suffering. Instead of you coming up with a concrete plan to deal with inflation and the economy, etc., your solution is, hey, women, if you have a child because of the economy that my party screwed up, right? You need to go and get rid of your child because they are an economic burden. When having a child in this country is actually incentivized because women can get welfare, women can get food stamps, women can get Section 8. They can get all that to feed those kids. And let's call it what it is. Any parent with a child know that having a child doesn't cost, as much money as people think it costs. It depends on the lifestyle you have with your child, right? Public school is free. If you don't make a certain amount of money, you can get childcare for free. Whole lot of things in this country is for free, other than clothes. Okay, clothes, you can shop at certain locations to get decent clothes, but don't have to have, no luxury items. Adults is the one that costs more money, not really children. To be honest with you, it's the adults that's consuming more things than children. But for this woman to even make this suggestion, and she didn't come up with no concrete plan to talk about the economy. She didn't come up with no concrete plan to talk about inflation. All she said is, that's what I could do. The man asks you, what would you do to address that issue, that very, very important issue for most voters in the midterm elections? But see, the Democrat Party does not have the answer, folks. They don't have the answers. All they have is talking points. All they think about is the, deletion of children. That's why I just kind of laughed at the Herschel Walker thing when they'll say, oh, you see, Herschel Walker, look, he allegedly paid for some abortions. Oh, look. I'm like, how are y'all going to criticize anybody about a freaking abortion when y'all the party of it? Y'all just had a freaking Twitter post that said abortion is health care from y'all official Twitter page. That's your party. How could you tell anything about that? How is that like a smear on Herschel Walker coming from y'all? And let's call it what it is. Stacey, you want to promote that to definitely to black people, black women in particular. Ever since they put in this ban, I promise you, when you look at the numbers, the birth of black children is going to skyrocket. Because the majority of those who get pregnant in our community is not going to go fly to no other state to get that done. They just not. They say, well, I got to deal with it, X, Y, Z, right? Like we always done things in our community. But this is your girl. This is the one y'all want to put in office. Her. And Warnock's worse because he's a preacher. He's supposed to know better, and he's still on the same thing she's on. Like I said, these particular politicians in the black community are Democrat first. They have no affiliation with being black like that. It's about Democrat. Everything is Democrat for them. They don't think about the community. They don't think about the effect of it. It's all about my position in the Democrat Party. Massa giving me a few extra crumbs. I can be a little bit better than these other black folk, right? Because I'm in the house of Massa, and I'm trying to get a position in Massa's house, in the big house, and let me go out there and try to dictate to them to the field slave. To me, the field slave is more free than the house slave, if you know the history of that, because the house slave was actually a lot of times getting more abused than even the field slaves were, because they were right there in the house with them. Sometimes they was even doing more work at times, being in the house. But this woman right here, it was something I want to say, but I got to be professional. I will say this much. Let me see if I can say this in another way. Stacey, you're not disciplined in your personal life enough for me. I'm going to leave it at that, to be addressing certain issues in politics. Because how you treat yourself is how you're going to, be all the way around. You're not disciplined in a lot of ways, and surely you're not even disciplined enough to know anything about your own community. But, when you think you're Democrat first, and you got to think about this woman been hitting the pavement for Democrat for the past, 2 years or so? A couple of years, not more than 2 years, but since the election, she's been hitting the pavement to getting people registered to vote. Okay, fine. But they don't push you to vote, period. They pushing you toward the Democrat Party. And this is why the Democrat Party will lose badly, is because we not on that, man. We don't want to hear that no more, man. That's that Margaret Sanger would be so happy with a lot of these black politicians. She would be happy. And Margaret Sanger could not go to the rank and file black person. She didn't go to the grassroots people in the black community at that time period. She went to the Warnocks to get the leading going in the black community. Just look at the history of it. She went through the Warnocks. She went through the black preacher to get that done. Now, the black preacher had been the first one to reject that. Say, what the hell are you talking about? And say, you wicked, evil woman, you don't get away from here. But no, we don't have preachers like that. Because let's call it what it is. When white mommy and white daddy come around, these Negroes start showing 32 teeth and throw away the Bible. And they want to do anything they can for white mommy and white daddy. These are the people that have always sold us out. These black politicians and these black preachers, they go hand in hand. You may have a few preachers here and there that's good. And you know, here and like I said, the ones that's good, like Bishop Talbot Swan, love that brother, right? He's a preacher. But if they're not talking like Bishop Talbot, I don't want to hear you. Black politicians, I can't name one that I know of today that I can say, oh yeah, that brother, that sister, yeah, they about their business. They all Democrat first. That means they all no good to me. What are they actually offering? And now let me respond to something I saw the other day. I think it was a little comment. And let me tell you about me a little bit. No, you can never peg me down on any one particular issue, and you can't peg me down politically. You can't peg me down in ideology. You just can't do that for a whole lot of reasons. It's because I believe in creative freedom. I believe in the power of thought, also free thought as well. And I've said this, I think, many times, and maybe using the back of the class that day. But my politics is independence, being completely independent. I will never be a Democrat, for hell no. I'll never be a Republican either. No. But I will say, and I will say this openly, that a lot of black folks are more conservative in a lot of ways, but they don't vote that way. And the reason they don't vote that way a lot of times is because in the Republican Party, you do have a wing of white supremacists that's pretty open. And black people just in a lot of ways, I'm talking about the rank and file black person, you know, the rank and file black person that, you know, has this thing about wanting people to like them. The rank and file black person that's kind of emotional, you know, that kind of black person on some things. We're not talking about the black person that have ascended to the point of removing emotion out of their business, removing emotion out of their politics. Not those black people, but the rank and file. Okay. They will not be in the Republican Party. I wouldn't even join the Republican Party. And I agree with a lot of ideals in the Republican Party, actually, but I would never join it. No, I wouldn't. Because number one, I don't want to be held to everything that the white supremacists in that party is doing. And on the other side, Democrat side, I don't want to be held to those ideals either. I don't support deleting children. I don't support the open borders. I don't support all that. You know, I believe in traditional families. The Democrats don't believe in traditional family settings. They believe in drag queens reading to children. Why? You know what I'm saying? There's a whole lot of things like, no, hell no. I can't side with that. Can't. Sorry. Not me. I can speak for black people 24/7. I can talk about relationships. I can talk about entertainment. I can talk about a whole lot of things. You can't peg me down. You can't put me in a box. I'm letting you know that you can't do it. I don't even allow you to do it. That's why I confuse some of you. Well, one minute he say this and next minute he say that, because I'm multifaceted. That's who I am. You can't peg me down to anything. I won't let you. I've learned a long time ago, when you let somebody put you in a box, people controlling you at that point. No, you be who you are, no matter what it may be. Don't let nobody define anything for you. You define who you are. Live for yourself, of course, definitely for your family, and definitely do things for your community. So when it comes to these Democrats, I have seen, based on their track record with the black community, they are not good for black people. Our black politicians aren't good for black people because they're serving the left wing of white supremacy. At least what I always say about the Republicans is they are upfront with their racism. That wing is in there, because not all Republicans are act that way. No, not all of them. OK, I'm not going to say all Democrats act that way, but at least the Republicans that's there, they pretty open with it. But what I don't like about the Democrat is that they try to hide it. They try to smile in your face. No. Show me. I want to deal with the MAGA racism. Let me deal with that. That's what I want. I don't want to deal with that smile in your face and stab me in my back deal. Or I don't want to deal with, well, let me use Stacey Abrams to do some things to black people. Or let me use Warnock to do some things to black people because I'm too much of a coward to do it myself. Let me use them to do it. You understand? It's a blackface promoting left-wing white supremacy. That's all Stacey Abrams is. They have talking points from the DNC and they stick to it. They don't even think outside the box at all. They do not think outside the box. I went to Georgia, this past week, not nice, Atlanta, it was nice. I don't think Governor Kemp was doing a bad job from what I've seen in the economy, and went down there, to the Google building and all of that, that area where with Peachtree, that part of Peachtree, all the skyscrapers and all that. I mean, that's a direct, reflection of what's going on in Georgia, right? I mean, I don't really see a change needed in that area. And Stacey Abrams definitely wouldn't be the change. And all thing they're promoting is, we need marijuana legalization. Even though I support that, not because I smoke anything, not because I believe in people being a weed head. No. The only reason why I support legalization is because it drops down the arrest for black people by 99% when it comes at least to that. And the majority of black folks that actually get arrested is actually with that. Now, I know that's a conversation we need to have, that why black people are so addicted to that stuff. I don't get it because, like I said, I don't understand addictions like that, because I believe addictions is related to problems that you need to deal with. Whether you're drinking alcohol to the point that you're getting plastered every freaking weekend, or every day. Some people every day. Or you got to smoke that stuff to function. I think it's a problem if you have to smoke that stuff every day to function. Oh, my nerves bad, I need to go get a joint. It's like you really need to address your real issue and real problems. That's how I feel about that. And I don't like anything foreign going into my body that I feel like I need to make it on. You know what I'm saying? Because people can lace that stuff. They can do whatever they want to do with something like that. And it's not like people are growing it on their own. And then they say, oh, I grow my own. And sure, I do it that way. Okay, that's a little different. But you go and buy it from somewhere, you know what I'm saying? That's just my position on that. And I know some people say, well, the Democrats is the one that want that legalized, Phil. So why don't you promote Stacey Abrams and that'll happen? That's not important. You putting that mess in your mouth is a choice. The economy right now and inflation, that's hurting everybody. It's hurting everybody. And I always tell people, if you got that kind of addiction, move to a state where it's legal. That way you won't get in trouble. I've been said that. That's like common sense. Go to the closest state you can go to that's legal, and then do your thing, I guess. But Stacey is not going to do anything. Stacey instead of coming up with solutions, she's telling women, well, we need more deletion. That's what we need because kids cost money. I mean, she said that with a straight face too. It's not like she was joking or something like that. No, this woman's serious. A woman with no kids. And some people, they think she's a closeted, LGBT, but don't want to say it out loud. I don't know. That's what some people are saying. But that's her business. It's her business. I mean, I'm not harping on that. That's what she got going on. But Stacey Abrams isn't it, folks. She isn't it. Obama going to talk about corner that campaign for her for what? Listen, let me tell y'all something. I got a message the other day. Oh, this was funny. The thing is that rolling video I made yesterday, and you had a sister say, Phil, I voted for the Republicans in this state because they live in Georgia. And I said, oh, boy. I said, boy, Roland and them going to be mad at you. You're going to be threatening their jobs. Because you know what? I said this. If black women, I'm talking black women, if black women start voting the other side, just to stick it to the Democrats, just to show them that, okay, this is what you did. You sit up here and took my last vote that I needed you to take care of qualified immunity, start talking about reparations and all the different things that we need you to start talking about. You took my vote and you went and gave it, basically benefited the Asian community. You benefit, illegal immigrants benefited. Afghanistan people benefited. Ukrainians got an open check, literally, every month. but black Americans can't get anything. So you know what? Some black folks aren't emotional. And they say, I'll just do a protest vote then. Not because I even care about the ideals. And I call it what it is. I've been saying that Herschel Walker is better than Warnock to me. Because at least he answers yes and no questions. Something simple to answer. Warnock won't even answer straight questions. And it's sad Herschel Walker call you out on your line. Call him out on a whole preacher defending deleting children? A whole preacher. And these are the two people in Georgia you're supposed to vote for. So yeah, boy, listen, I can't wait. I want to see the election results. I'm telling you, Herschel Walker win. Watch the video I'm gonna make. Oh boy, I'm gonna clown them Democrats. I'm a clown. And you think Roland said something now? Oh, Roland gonna have a meltdown. He's gonna have a meltdown, and I can't wait. Oh, I want to see it, folks. I want to see it. But, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us on the podcast. Greatly appreciate it. You know, make sure you subscribe. You know, and click that like button. It's very important. You know, those of you who have supported, or maybe after the fact, you will support us with a super thanks. We greatly appreciate that, and we definitely want to celebrate you, for that, for sure. But we're going to keep, putting out these podcasts on the Democrats for sure. We going every day. We about to hammer some out, because since Mr. Rowland put a battery in my back for it. Not like I said, that's how I respond. But anyway, thank y'all for listening. We'll see you on the next one.